Hello, this is an informational video on understanding networking, specifically computer networking. As a technology coach, I think it's important to provide these resources and have them available for educators looking to learn more about the topic. So what is networking? A network, or more specifically, a computer network, is a telecommunications network that allows computers to exchange data. In computer networks, networked computing devices pass data to each other along data connections. Networking is the process of maintaining and utilizing a computer network. So the components of a network. The components of a network are going to depend on the type of network, which we'll get more into a little bit later. But here's the basics. Regardless of whether a network is fast or slow, wired or wireless, all networks share certain fundamental characteristics. At a minimum, there must be a computer making a request, a computer responding to a request, and a mechanism for the two of those computers to communicate. So the basics are you're going to need computers, either laptop, desktop computers, iPads, your PDA, any of those. And then input devices, such as printers or other devices. Connection types, whether it's wired or wireless. Of course, you're going to need either a router, hub, or switch, and access to the internet. Although it's possible to use a special cable to allow two computers to talk directly to each other without connecting to any other computer, most networks are designed to permit connection to the internet as well as to any other local computers. So here's a picture exemplifying components of a network. You can see we have our three computers in the front, which are also called clients or hosts. They're all connected to the hub, which is then connected to the server and the router. Most computer networks have a firewall system in place, and then of course there's the internet, which is kind of feeding it all. So types of networks. We have our personal area network, our local area network, our metropolitan area network, and our wide area network. And these are all connected to each other through the internet, just depending on the scale. So a personal area network is a network called PAN, which are usually wireless when needed to communicate between two or more devices. PAN networks can be used between devices owned by two different parties or between two devices owned by one person, such as a PDA and a laptop or mobile phone. These networks are usually characterized as short range and often limited to 10 meters or less in range. An example of PAN technology is Bluetooth wireless networking. Bluetooth is designed as a cable replacement technology, allowing users to discard the serial and USB cables used by many of today's peripheral devices and rely on Bluetooth PAN for communication. Bluetooth PAN support up to 7 devices in a single network. Next, we have our local area network, also called LAN. Is a relatively small network that is confined to a small geographic area, such as a single office or a building. Laptops, desktop servers, printers, and other network devices that make up a LAN are located relatively close to each other. A key characteristic is that all of the equipment that is comprised a LAN is owned by a single entity. From a security context, LANs are the point at which trusted users are typically accessing your network and server resources. Often enterprises extend too much trust to users in LANs who have otherwise unrestricted access to confidential information resources. Possible threats is outside employees, such as contractors, coming in with access to your LAN, and that could pose a potential threat. The metropolitan area network, also called MAN, is typically used to describe a network that spans citywide area or a town. MANs are larger than traditional LANs and predominantly use high-speed media such as fiber optic cable for their backbones. MANs are common in organizations that need to connect several smaller facilities together for information sharing. This is often the case for hospitals that need to connect to treatment facilities, outpatient facilities, doctor's offices, labs, and research offices for access to centralized patient and treatment information. MANs share many of the same security threats as LANs, but on a larger scale. The plight of an administrator in a central location granting access to county offices that are scattered within a city is a difficult one that demands a strict access control mechanism to protect against unauthorized information access. A wide area network, or a WAN, covers significantly larger geographic area than both LANs and MANs. A WAN uses public networks, telephone lines, and lease lines to tie together smaller networks such as LANs and MANs over geographically dispersed area. Connecting devices in different geographic areas together for information sharing, WANs are an important piece of enterprise networks. Next, we have the Internet. The term Internet today in computer networking refers to the global network of public computers running Internet protocol. The Internet supports the public World Wide Web and many special-purpose client-server software systems. Internet technology also supports many private, corporate intranets and private homelands. As I stated before, it's possible to use a cable to allow two computers to talk directly to each other without connecting to another computer, but almost all networks are designed to permit connection to the Internet as well as to any other local computers. The Internet is an example of a network that connects WANs, MANs, and LANs into the world's largest global network. Internet service providers, or ISP, connect the networks together. These providers are responsible for maintaining the integrity of the Internet while providing connectivity between WANs, MANs, and LANs throughout the world. ISPs provide customers with access to the Internet through the use of points of presence, or POP. In cities throughout the world, customers are provisioned access to POTs from their own WANs, MANs, and LANs to Internet access to their users. So school networks specifically, of course there is advantages and disadvantages to school networks. Our advantages include user access control. Modern networks almost always have one or more servers which allow centralized management for users and for network resources to which they have access. User credentials on a privately owned and operated network may be as simple as a username and a password. But with ever-increasing attention to computing security issues, these servers are critically trying to ensure that sensitive information is only available to authorized users. Information and sharing and storing. Computers allow users to create and manipulate information. The network provides both a place to store information and mechanisms to share that information with other network users. Connections. Administrators, instructors, and even students and guests can be connected using the campus network. Services. The school can provide services such as registration, school directories, course schedules, access to research and email accounts, many others services that they can use through the school network. The Internet. The school can provide network users with access to the Internet via an Internet gateway. Computing resources. The school can provide Internet access to special purpose computing devices which individual users would not normally own. Flexible access, this is a big one. School networks allow students to access information from their connected devices throughout the school. So students can begin an assignment in their classroom, save part of it on a public access area of the network, and then go to the media center to finish their work. Students can also work cooperatively through the network. Work group computing. Collaborative software also allows many users to work on a document or project concurrently. So the disadvantages. The first disadvantage is, of course, it's expensive to install. Is it worth it in the long run? Most likely, but the initial cost is expensive. It also requires administrative time. proper maintenance of a network requires considerable time and expertise. And then, of course, servers fail. Although a network server is no more susceptible to failure than any other computer, when the file server goes down, the entire network may come to a halt. Cables may break. And then, of course, there's the security and compliance issue. Network security is expensive. It's also very important. A school network would possibly be subject to more stringent security requirements than a similar size corporate network because of the likelihood of storing personal and confidential information. The danger which can be compounded if any network users are minors. A great deal of attention must be paid to a network's services to ensure that all network content is appropriate for the network community it serves as well. So that sums up my informational video on computer networking. I hope that you've learned some and we'll tune in for more. Thank you.